Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chan here from NBC Sports Bay Area. It's a little late night post, but just got back into town after being in San Jose for the Dwight Clark event, which was pretty exciting. Also, Brock Purdy's first press conference, and it was a very busy day. And then I went to, not that you need all the details of my personal life, but then hung out with my dad who came out to the event, and had lunch with him. So now I'm finally back home, and it was a long couple days, but I did get a little bit of a break. But it's been a busy couple days. Brock Purdy first press conference. My takeaways are that Brock Purdy is still the same guy, and yes, I know it's only been a little bit. He probably doesn't even have it deposited in his checking account yet, or whatever it is. But I think this is what you get. I think this is why they wanted to spend so much money on keeping Brock Purdy with the 49ers for as long as he plays football. Um, the fact that he is, a leader and his voice is being heard even more in the locker room, as George Kittle said at the Dwight Clark event. And I think he's just going to be who he is. And the fact that, he has made this incredible journey from being the last pick in the draft to being a backup to, being thrown into the game and becoming the starter for the 49ers, and how he's traveled this journey and he's never really changed. Um, Kind of the funny thing is, I've mentioned it once or twice here on the pod on this on my channel that when Brock Purdy first got there, I didn't talk to him much as the backup quarterback, but a few of my colleagues did, and they, he's confident, and I think it kind of came off as a little bit of arrogance, but I think that's necessary. I think as a quarterback and as a leader of a franchise, you kind of have to have that edge to you. And while Brock Purdy is one of the nicest guys, and he's just humble and he's down to earth, it seems like. And, I don't know him personally, but I've spent a lot of time talking to him. Obviously, interviewed his mom, his dad, his high school coach, his high school teammate, and everybody has incredibly nice things to say about him. All of his teammates do. And so, you know, um, this is a guy that you want to be one of the core players of your franchise. And that's what the 49ers did. Um, he said some things, someone was asking him, that in January he wanted to get this done by phase one. Didn't quite happen, but how important was it to push to get this done before the bulk of the OTA started? And he said, yeah, I mean, obviously I was hopeful to get something done early, and it would have been nice to have it done going into the offseason program as a whole. But obviously there's just a process to it, and both sides have their views, and that's the whole point of negotiating. But at the end of the day, I didn't want to lose sight of the main goal here, knowing that I'm going to be the quarterback for this team this year, and I have to come in and get better, grow our locker room, help the new guys. And I just wanted to be here from the jump and be the guy in there to continue to lead this place. Obviously, we have to get better in areas. I have to get better and all the things. But being here day one was a huge emphasis for me, regardless of having the contract done or not. But I had a lot of faith, obviously, in my agent and the Niners that we were going to get something done. Didn't know when exactly, but being here for phase one was huge for me. That's the guy that you want leading your team. It's just, they got their guy, with number 262. And, he's talked about how he's 100% healthy. He's feeling great. And another person asked, how involved he was in the process of, getting things done and what he wanted in the contract. And he said, he talked a lot to his agent, Kyle Strongen, and he was very thankful of him, very thankful of his wife and his family being there supporting him this whole time. But he complimented his agent quite a bit. And obviously, he didn't get the top contract in the league, but he got one of the top contracts. He's one of the, he's in the top 10. And that's, where Jed York said, hey, he's a top 10 quarterback. And I think that was important to him. And I think, with that happening and what the organization did with him, making it, a lot of money in the first 3 years, I think, he's obviously seen as the leader in the locker room. So I asked him, is it a stark contrast last season where there was some drama up and down, and now, he's got his contract done, but also George Kittle, Fred Warner, and that became official today. Does that kind of settle everything in the locker room? Does it settle everything with the franchise? And he said, yeah, I feel like every year there's sort of been someone that like, it's man, I wish we could get them done. And it's gone on pretty late. And whether that has affected the locker room or not, he's like, I'm not really sure. I don't want to pinpoint anything, but this year having the guys done and being able to get back to work and be around the guys in the locker room and just build our culture and standard really from the ground up with all new guys that we have, it's been pretty cool. Okay, so he mentioned new guys, young guys, being the leader. He mentioned it quite a few times. It's a huge emphasis for this group that these core players, Fred Warner, George Kittle, Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Deommodore Lenoir, you know, Nick Bosa, these guys are the core guys. They are going to need to bring these new guys, and there are a lot of them, up to speed. And the way that the 49ers have doled out these contracts, I think says a lot. You know, these young guys are going to come in and see, okay, these are all $100 million players. They are the guys that we have to listen to, and they are the guys that I'm going to follow. I want to do everything that he does. Nick Martin, linebacker, said I want to do everything Fred Warner does. You know why? Because they want to all be on that same path. They all want to make $100 million. They all want to be that guy. So the fact that the 49ers have done this, and the process, as Brock Purdy called it, has gone on, and it's been pretty quick this year, getting everybody done by May 22nd, and it's official with Fred Warner. It says a lot. And, you know, Brock Purdy continued. He said, everybody's bought in right now, and we're excited, obviously, to do more team activities and stuff as we move along the offseason. It's hard to explain, but the young guys, the older guys, everybody is bringing it right now. And it's just so important that we're around each other a lot, doing little different activities, continuing to build chemistry. And he said, that's the kind of stuff that matters when you get late in the season and things get tough. You go through some tough things as a team. You want to be able to know the guy next to you and what he's about, and that he's going to have your back and everything like that. So, anyways, having the contract stuff done, it's been a huge blessing for the whole team and organization. That's a big statement. And, I think George Kittle, Deommodore Lenoir, Fred Warner, all those guys that were at the Dwight Clark Legacy event last night emphasize, hey, we've got new guys. This is a thing. There's a lot of new guys in this locker room. I think last year they really tried to run it back. They kept almost all the same guys in the locker room that they had in 2023. They were there in 24. They added some guys to the defensive line, but generally it was the same core guys. This year it looks a little different. There are a lot of new guys in here, and they've got to build the culture from day one. So having everybody in the building, I think, changes a lot. I think it changes their trajectory through the offseason. I think it gets everybody on the same page. There's no drama. It is just ball. It is just those guys. They're going to bond together. There's no outside noise. There's no outside drama. No one's sitting out or wanting this or wanting that. There's not one spotlight on one guy anymore now that they've all gotten the contracts done. Yes, we'll still talk to George Kittle, Fred Warner, and Brock Purdy because they got contracts done, but there's not a focus. Like, there isn't one person that's going to be focused on ESPN. What are they doing? Where are they going? Why are they not practicing? This is everybody showing up and reporting and being part of the team. So, I think if Brock Purdy, who he is, making the most money on the team, says, hey, we all got to do this, I think it means a lot. And so it's an interesting, newer start to the season, and we'll see how it goes. But we'll be at OTAs next week, and we'll see how they look on the field. How's the attitude? How's the energy? And will it look a lot different from 2024 when there's a little heartbreak, there's a little residual hangover. So we'll see how it is. And I'm going to kind of run through what I saw at the Dwight Clark Legacy event. We'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow, but just all good stuff. Michael Zagaris is unbelievable. Photographer for the 49ers for decades. And one of the photos back there behind me, it's probably a copy. But that photo, Bill Walsh and Joe Montana crouching on the grass. It's a Zagaris photo. I do have both of his books, the rock and roll book and the 49ers book. Just he's an amazing photographer. And the fact that he embedded himself entirely in the team, you know, showered with them. He wanted to be unseen so that he could get those moments. That was why he did that. He, he goes in the locker room, he showers with the team, he, is gets dressed with the team. He's always around, so they don't think, oh, photographer's in here. It's just Z. He's in there, and that's how he captures those moments. So, hope y'all are well, and we'll talk more tomorrow, maybe a little earlier. Sorry, it's a late one.